David, was very close with Norm Macdonald, would like to say a few words about his memorial.
Yeah,
David?
Norm, Dana, thank you. We went to a memorial, and I'm only bringing this up because Downey's on today, and we did an intro for him, but I just wanted to do because I just went to this thing, and it was supposed to be more of a celebration. You know, it was kind of a funeral. We never had a funeral for Norm, so it was like a good way to everyone get in the same room. I think it was called a memorial, but I thought that wasn't too catchy and they shouldn't trademark it. It's not catchy like Toyotathon, you know what I mean? So it was supposed to be like a lighthearted thing, but you know, those things do get heavy.
Yeah.
No matter how fun you want it to be, and no matter how much Norm would have wanted it to be light. And so we all gathered. The only interesting thing was, I think they're doing some sort of documentary for Netflix because it was filmed. And that's, you know, they wanted me to speak, and that's harder when people are filming it, as you know, because it's a serious thing and it's embarrassing. It's hard to speak anyway in front of people. And the funny part, you know, so Conan went up, he kind of hosted it. The audience was peppered with like, you know, SNL people, writers, comedians, Dave Attell, Bill Murray from SNL, Sandler, Conan, I mean, any Smigel, all these people are everywhere. So a little intimidating, but all friends. And Dana, I don't know if I told you this. So Conan speaks. He brings up Lori Joe, who's Norm's right-hand man, been with him forever. She's the greatest. She set the whole thing up. Ted Sarandos had COVID. He couldn't come. And he's the biggest fan of this whole thing. So by the time Downey spoke, and he was great. And then I went up to speak, and there's stairs going up there, and Conan goes to shake my hand. I wipe out in front of everyone. On my face. I don't even do any jokes. I don't go, not funny, Norm. You know, I didn't say anything. I just said, got up, went to the stage, did my little speech, 4 minutes, got off. And then a couple of people, Molly Shannon, a lot of people spoke, Nealon. And then we were sequestered to another room, another whole building where 6 of us watched his special. That was the interesting part.
So
he did a special,
you told me
Dana.
about that. What was it? How did his special happen, Norm?
So you know how I used to do those monologues during Corona where I'd sit at my desk? It was like that. He had a microphone in his hand, and Lori Joe was filming him, and he just said, you know, I keep trying to do my special, but he was getting weaker, which we didn't know, and they kept shutting down theaters, and they wouldn't let him go. And then he goes, I'm just going to run it once, just kind of say it out loud. And then he never got to shoot it. So they said, let's use that and kind of make a documentary. So 6 of us watched it.
So
It's
he's
very
just
weird.
in his room with Lori Joe with a mic going.
No
right.
audience, no nothing.
Yeah.
Even speaking at the funeral memorial, it's very hard when there's like a dolly shot, you know, when you're talking and it's like, push in, he might cry. No, I'm not crying at this part.
That
okay,
is
pull
different.
back.
Yeah.
It's just definitely something, you know, they filmed the Comedy Store with Bob Saget. I thought that was just odd because I think people at home don't know when you make fun of someone at something like that as a comedian, they probably think it's very mean, but it's all of us just lightheartedly making fun of Norm, also saying something sad, you know, whatever. So here we are watching the special, Dana, and very interesting. It's about almost an hour. He's got classic Norm stuff. Some's very rough, you know, where people would be offended, which is good. And some stuff just really kills. And some stuff he meanders. But, you know, he hasn't had a chance to polish it or anything. It's just, hey, I'm going to run through it. So it's not really, we were discussing that. Would this work in a crowd? Yes. But Norm has his, for what he does, it was perfect. They're going to really like it. And we talked about it, discussed about mostly everything was just positive, of course, and excited to be a witness to that.
Did you ever get like a wave of just the surrealness of it, or a wave of like sort of, it's just so strange to see your friend, you know, knowing that
I definitely cried. I definitely cried. I didn't at the memorial, but that one, he starts talking about his mom, and you're watching a guy, and this is the last time I've seen him because I've seen him before that, but it was right before Corona. So I haven't seen him, and he looks a little different, you know, and he's a little gaunt, and then you hear him talk, and he was pretty sharp. I mean, it wasn't like He was smoother than my special. Like, he never looked down. I'm like, does he have a set list? What is he looking at? How does he know what's coming up? There was like, no, maybe they tightened it up, but
Yeah.
So definitely we're seeing, and then we talked, and then, you know, we had that Adam Sandler taping after that. So, which is coming up soon. So it was a long day. Sandler was in there too. And I just thought it was interesting. And I thought people should know we finally got to have something for Norm. We never talked about it ever. I never talked about it. And I'm glad I got to see it, but it was a little bit of a crier at times, you know.
I always like to think when someone's gone that they're still here. I kind of hear their voice in my head sometimes. And I think what they would say about everything. I don't know. I'm in denial about people being gone.
And also in the last 2 years when I haven't seen him, or a lot of people, you just think they're out there. You just don't see them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like you'll run into them. And with Norm, you're just thinking if Norm was alive, he wouldn't want to be here because it's an odd situation and it's hard to be at those things.